Bitcoin is ripping towards its previous all-time high before the halving. We also have some key indicators. We're going to be joined with Kelly Kellum looking at the potential return of an altcoin season and some very, very dire times coming up for the Federal Reserve. We're going to take a look at a key date coming up in March to look out for to potentially push this markets over the edge. All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement. We are the bread and butter of all the information that's been swimming across the internet for crypto news.
If you're going to screw me, at least pull my hair.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What do you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Over 2 years, he's made like 17K on Roblox.
What?
Like 12.
You never listen to me, and we must be married. Yeah, well, how much are you investing? $100.
$400,000 to $600,000. The generational signals are now. Now.
Your spread so thin, that's how you get in on Snake. Snake's been my biggest winner.
What is that? The moon! Oh yeah, baby. No exciting nothing like that. Owen is out in Panama right now. The rest of the team, we're holding it down here. Me, Hannah, Kelly, Jeremy over here joining me on the show. Thanks for joining me, you guys. You know, it's been I had a pretty amazing weekend. Took the kids over to a waterfall and basically just spent the time wading in the water, letting them hang out, enjoy the time. I was also working on my daughter's room, doing some brickwork, doing a little bit of hard things.
Some masonry?
Some masonry, yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't so cold. You waded in a waterfall?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's up to like knee high, you know, so it's not that
it's
deep.
Like fine that it's so cold.
You know, so it was fun. But here's Jeremy. Look at that. Rocking it out. Thanks for joining me, dudes. And Kelly, you have been putting some alpha out. I really like how concise and dead on you've been with these markets, man. You know, shout out to that. You hammered in, you got some positions that are doing really good. Hannah, what's going on today? What's the plan for today? And is ATB still going down at the end of today, about 4 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
ATB with DZ 4 p.m. Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Come. Or else.
It's Bitcoin versus Ethereum?
Yep.
It's one or the other, huh?
Yeah.
You guys
All
want to
right.
know a little bit of secret thing I haven't told Hannah yet?
What's that?
I'm hoping I can get the pressure of the entire broader community here to twist her arm. I want some female inclusion on BitLab. I want to get some Hannah in there doing little 1 to 4 minute little clips, breaking down some stuff for
Really?
yeah.
Well,
So
okay.
I just want to add a couple 3 or 4 more hours extra to her day because I know she's already slammed. But
No big deal.
TA.
Yeah.
no, not TA.
Hannah?
Just like what's a seed phrase?
Yeah.
Like the basics of Bitcoin.
Well, and also
crypto.
Hannah, here's an idea. Okay, so Hannah has been crushing it at
Everything.
well, particularly Pudgy Penguins and calling like early cult movements within crypto, you know. She was very keen on like MOG before it pumped. She knew the reasons why it was going to pump. I think maybe some of like the cultural deep dives, like, because she's really got a pulse on that sector.
I'm
you know what I mean?
about the community manager, if you will.
She's the pudgiest of penguins.
Yeah.
We're gonna see this super chat here in a minute. I see 2 Pump Chump maybe sending a super chat. Here it comes. I gotta wait for it to load.
Just so you guys know, there's 1, 2, 3 cameras over there, and they're directly in front of the TV where all the chats are.
Do you think there will be a major correction before or after the halving?
Here we
Planning
go.
to take profits to buy back in during that major correction.
I got my thoughts, Kelly. You want to give them your thoughts first?
There's no telling of if this time's different or not. Historically, we've always seen a large pullback of more than 20%. We've only had 20% pullbacks this last year. History says we should have somewhere I would say above 20. I don't know if we're going to get a 40% or more like we have in the past, but I can't rule out a 25 to 30% pullback, but we have no way to know if that's going to happen or not because we're having, 15 to 40,000 Bitcoin bought a day from these ETFs. That doesn't even account for people outside of those ETFs. So the strategy right now is one, if you haven't already been loading up, I don't know where your head was, but right now I would say it's time to come up with the schedule and DCA over the course of a few weeks because it could go down. It could just be going up from here.
That's interesting that you'd say that because I've been talking a lot with Tim Warren and he's anticipating a big pullback. If you go watch his show, I don't know exactly what his stream is called, but the Tim Warren
Investing Bros.
Investing Bros. Yeah.
Investing Bros. If you watch that, he's been saying for the past couple times like he's anticipating a pullback before the halving.
Yeah, I mean, basically where my head's at, I'm sticking to what I've said for the last few weeks is that I feel like we're going to get close to or at the previous all-time high and then correct back down to around $48,000-$50,000.
Go to my Twitter right now.
Yeah.
So I shared on there's if you scroll back a little bit, there's a picture with 3 charts. Or scroll down a bit, and I shared some key targets. Scroll down. Scroll down. Furthermore,
chaos. You tweet too much.
Hey man, I was doing alpha all week.
What is
What
that?
is this?
What is that?
What is this?
It's bull crap season, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scroll down. Keep going. You're gonna see 3 charts in one post.
3 charts, 1 post, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Keep going.
What is this?
that
Hell?
video-
Where have you
Keep
sent
going.
me? You sent
Keep
me down
going.
the
It's
depths
almost
of
there.
hell.
It's almost there.
No,
It's
this
like-
is not here. There
It is the next right there. Go up right there. So click on that
Look at this.
that first image on the first. Scroll down
What
You
is
wrote
hell?
this?
right there. So those are the 3 levels I'm watching. Is most likely the 64K. If you zoom out a little bit, the 64K is the target from the bull flag we're in right now. But that 46 to 48K seems like if we do get a pullback, will be pretty strong buying pressure. And if we lose that, I got some orders in still at 38K.
Yeah.
This is why even if you think it's bullish, you still prepare for lower, and you have an idea of how and where a price could go.
Yep. There's a few things that are driving this rally here. I'll pull up this. I liked this write-up. Just a good encompassment. Man, a lot of swaps. Let's swap that. All right. So Ether's Bitcoin beating rally, not just because of a potential ETF approval. According to Bernstein, the amount of Ether held on exchanges is at an all-time low of 11%, a sign that more of the cryptocurrency is being locked up for DeFi. Very interesting thing to keep in mind as we see, this is getting pretty, we have a supply squeeze going on. There's not enough supply to keep up with how much Bitcoin and soon to be Ethereum are being purchased through these ETFs. ETH, world's second largest crypto, has outperformed Bitcoin recently. That has not been the case for quite some time during the bear market, the pullback, with a 33% gain year to date. The rally being driven by a catalyst other than a potential approval of this ETF, according to Bernstein in a report on Monday. Firstly, the ETH supply is deflationary and has not increased since the Ethereum shift to a proof of stake consensus model in September 2022. That did play out and went smoothly. So nothing big broke when they changed. There was a pretty monumental shift to go from proof of work to proof of stake, especially for Ethereum, one of the biggest. The Eigenlayer protocol used for restaking Ether has also attracted staking demand as ETH stakers and restakers gain from new tokens or services launched on Eigen. Moving on here, Uniswap fee switch proposal resulted in a 60% gain for Uni governance token, is cited as one such example of how token economic designs could get better. The last main catalyst is the Denkun upgrade of the Ethereum blockchain planned for March of this year. Following the upgrade, ETH contributors expect a further 90% reduction in Ethereum Layer 2 transaction cost and improved profitability for these Layer 2 networks, which will reduce the congestion on the mainnet and drive higher volumes to the ecosystem. And I've been let down time and time again with this whole talk of the ETH gas fees being fixed at large. I don't sit here expecting this upgrade to really fix that problem. But I do, on the same hand, expect more and more large institutions to become involved with Ethereum regardless. It's not, when you're paying for gas, you're paying for the security of the network. They see how large the network is, how secure it's been proven to be in and of itself. So I do keep that in mind. I know I hate Ethereum gas fees a lot, but that is the monster of what it is. And honestly, it's, if the gas fee is low, if it's super cheap, it's easy to
we just broke
arbitrage
over 54.
We just broke over
54, 250.
Let's pull it up. This is such a great day.
+1 in chat.
Oh my God. Look at this beautiful, beautiful occurrence this morning. My God. 7-day, looking thick, looking juicy, breaking out of that shelf nice and well right now. Ooh, this is fun. This is real fun. And we got some big things happening on the macro markets that I've been paying attention to, along with the charts that are happening. I'll be giving you the specific day. God, my hair's all messed up. I was doing brickwork all week or all weekend.
We already said that.
So what you're saying is you were laying bricks?
I was laying bricks. You know what I mean?
Is that pooping?
Let's take a look. I want to see what the top movers are as of now. I did want to mention on the main live show, I was talking to my fellow XRP holders and haters, one and the same at this point, to watch out for Flare, because Flare is just a more aggressive, faster moving horse in the race compared to XRP. My God, that has turned out well. Brought that up last week. Let's see. So not bad. Yep. Called it right before this big move here. Flare is waking up in a big way. What else do we got? I know that there's some that I was watching on the Underscope that are much lower market caps, but this is the top 100. Got BitTensor, Tau, absolutely ripping still. Tau, this is a dominating potential in the AI narrative, in my opinion. Mantle well up there, Stacks doing awesome, love to see it. Near Protocol, got in on Near Protocol, I believe at around $3.60, so it's a little bit of a move. Nothing too amazing yet for Near, but I do think that Near is set to pump. This is just absolutely lovely seeing Bitcoin crossing this level here, up 4.8% on the day. That is going to be trickling down into the altcoin season very soon. I feel it. We've seen it. Ethereum benefits from the Bitcoin pump afterwards, and then the layer 2s benefit, and then fast layer 1s and competitors benefit afterwards. That, and then the rest kind of trickles down into meme coins, deep in those types of things. So the tides are rising across the board. Here's Bitcoin Jesus. Look at BJ's setup right now. Jeremy reminded me of this. He is inside the production studio.
Is this what runs the simulation of life that we're in?
I mean, this is the Truman Show.
Even more important because this is literally running the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour that was this
Even
weekend.
more important.
Shout out to Biscuit Jesus. This was an awesome production. I watched it all weekend. It was great.
I appreciate you guys, but there could be nothing that's less interesting to me.
Yeah. Jeremy's going to take that as fighting words. Jeremy is very serious about his Magic the Gathering.
It'll be more interesting.
Yeah. Shout out to BJ, though. He's out there killing it. I believe he's back in town today, but he's probably doing some thumb bin stuff as well. We had this. Javier Milei getting in front of the limelight. So extreme, he would even make counterfeiting illegal. Talking about Javier Milei would bill jailing anyone who orders to print money to cover the deficit.
Not only that, they went from being so severely at a deficit to already being at a $400 billion surplus.
Well, he gutted the useless programs that they have.
So there is a possibility of us being able to do something here, but it would take a monumental effort, and it would mean that the government representatives that we have would need to look past their desire to be reelected and look actually towards what can we do that's actually for the benefit of the people over time.
I mean, we've needed statesmen in politics for a long time, right? That's like not very new. I think that a lot of the times and
it's on both sides. Yeah.
The procedural changes that are like required for the things that would make our lives better, or in your guys' case, reduce the deficit. I think they're not actually that complicated, but just no president has been able to, and this has a lot to do with maybe the media, but also just the social ecosystem of a president can't get in front of the American people and say it's time to tighten our belts. We just have to have a society where everyone would instantly pull back on that and react to it so much.
Yeah.
And I just think that's something we should all like pay attention to. Like imagine a president saying that. I think it'd be wild.
Yeah. And it's going to be painful. What he's doing is he is destroying the old guard in the system that basically put them into a situation of hyperinflation. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. You know what I mean? So there will be some feathers ruffled. There will be times of extreme uncertainty, but him just hard-sidedly coming out and working to ban counterfeiting the dollars just to cover the deficit, I think is an absolutely lovely idea.
Will you go to Andrew Tate's page? Somebody posted in here. Andrew Tate just tweeted taking a $400 million loan to buy more Bitcoin.
What? Oh my God. No way.
Yeah, who cares about what Andrew Tate does?
Well, I don't.
I mean, a
but
lot of people do.
the fact that he has such big social capital.
Here. This is not true. This is not true. Just more selfies.
Yeah, he knows Aikido.
Yeah. I don't know. You got to link me on that. I'm not seeing it here. Yeah, that'd be that's more the conversation of what if a group of rich people just get together and decide to buy a couple $1 billion worth of Bitcoin at a time.
Well,
changes the needle.
Did you see that I meant to put it in the thread with you for this today. There's Jeff Bezos has basically called together a big gathering of some of the world's top billionaires.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's happening sometime in the next couple of weeks. The last time it happened was just before the last market collapse. So it's like, are they trying to coordinate something? Do they know something we don't know?
Let's pull this up. There's some things to talk about here. You know what I mean? And I want to preface this. Like, I'm going to talk about the sickness within the traditional system. As I've seen from the past, I just kind of want to show this on a chart before we get too doom and gloomy on the traditional finance sector. What it really means for Bitcoin is what I think matters quite a bit as well. Pulling this up here real quick. Okay, there we go. So here is the essentially the banking crisis of the United States. By all means and all technical analysis thoughts, we were at the potential to go back down, to this 15K level, hope to hold that, and then from there it's 10K. Because a lot of the mindset was bearish on this upheaval for Bitcoin at the time. There's a bank crisis going on right now that depegged Circle USDC down to essentially 89 cents to the dollar because quite a bit of the backing for Circle was held at one of the insolvent banks. I believe it was Signature Valley or Silicon Valley. But essentially what you had there, bank crisis there, the scam of BTFP implemented in the US. Then you have China admitting, hey, Evergrande's actually going to be insolvent, you guys. This is where mainstream media admitted that. Now we come fast forward to here in this swoop. Over the past few weeks was where we had Evergrande go fully insolvent, and the end of the bank term funding program, the Band-Aid over a bullet wound, was announced right here in the same time frame. So we have some compounding things happening that are good for Bitcoin. Traditional finance is looking a little bit sketchy though. This is from Wall Street Silver. Jamie Dimon bought 1.2 million shares in open market from 2009 to 2016 at the exact same time that the market bottomed. Last week, he sold 821,000 shares of JP Morgan stock worth $150 million for the first time ever. Then we also saw, I believe it was Bezos dump in. There was a few other billionaires.
Bill Gates dumped like a huge amount of stuff.
Right.
And at the end of last year.
And there's, a lot of talk on the worries of NVIDIA's value, kind of being way overvalued. And to say, to speak back on that, I do think that, this is kind of like another tech bubble, but it's going to take longer for it to burst than you would expect. These things can be very irrational, much longer than you could ever imagine.
Can I mention something like that?
Yeah.
People try to compare a lot of stuff going on in a blockchain and AI, both of these, with the dot-com bust that we had in early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. The problem with it is that was when the technology sector itself, especially with the internet craze and the dot-com businesses, was a very nascent space. Now what we have with AI, we have a technological framework and integration globally that I think it's two different sort of foundations for which right now, like you said, I don't think that this won't have a pullback, but I think it's going to be much later than people expect. Just like you said.
It's just, you can be hyper plugged in and have all the information and know that it's going to happen, but then you're essentially falling into the Kiyosaki syndrome. I feel like, a broken clock is right twice a day. Eventually he's going to be right on Cataclysm, but we had this story come out from Robert Kiyosaki warning of the dangers of CBDC as the threat of war grows. Dude, we're already in war. Yeah, they're building out CBDCs. I'm glad someone that is pretty well known is talking about it, at least. Amid his numerous warnings of a looming economic collapse that could engulf the U.S. and beyond, popular investor and author Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad author, has recently sounded the alarm on multiple other issues. Here he is on the Twitter X. Please be careful. Banking crisis worsens. The threat of war grows, and central banks will push for CBDC to spy on us. And I completely agree with that. I mean, there's a few reasons. I think that the spying on us is one aspect of this, but also ensuring that we remain the monetary rats on the wheel, continuing to move forward to try to outpace inflation and have no saving power in the systems that are legal to utilize. They're going to be trying to push us into these CBDCs to keep the velocity of the money going, and essentially destroy your ability to save it at large. I am buying more Bitcoin and silver coins. Still a silver bug. Interesting. Silver, biggest bargain. What do you have thoughts on silver, Hannah? Like, I mean, this is kind of awkward that the people are still buying silver. I don't understand it. It hasn't moved really. Like, why is he?
Yeah, why did he say silver instead of gold?
So
I love silver instead of gold.
You love silver instead of gold?
Yeah, I mean, they use it to manufacture a lot more things, right? Silver is super conductive and stuff, and like as technology evolves, I can just see more of a use case for it, and it being a little less scarce kind of like works in its favor here, because anytime it be used in manufacturing, the price could rise. If you're envisioning specifically like not an apocalypse scenario, but like a society sort of restructuring, silver becomes more and more valuable, right?
Oh, well, okay. So here's where it gets weird. Okay. So if you're, let's say you're starving, right? And you have these things to trade for another good. Silver isn't highly divisible. And also, essentially it's in a type of situation like that. I think just violence is the biggest currency.
Sure.
To be honest with you. So it's a little morbid, but in those types of scenarios, really it's the violence of action that is the currency of the time. And then you get into salt. I think salt is a much better currency than silver because you can preserve food with it. Things you got to think about what can feed you, what can give you water immediately. Not horribly divisible. I mean, I have a hard time aligning with the idea that my neighbor's going to come and accept some silver for some food if that were to go down.
Well,
maybe not a neighbor, but maybe like a tech company, right?
The tech company.
But he's talking about in times of apocalypse.
In a time
So
of-
that's
yeah.
not trading with
But
the
what did
tech
I say? I
company.
said like half measure. Not quite apocalypse, but like society's being restructured, but we still all have phones.
Yeah. I don't really, I mean, that could go so many different ways. I just don't think silver's going to be that tangible, man. I think,
But you think they would accept gold?
no, I think that these things lose their value the more chaotic systems become. Like, I think in general, I think that gold's going to continue to go up and to the right. But I think it's going to be outpaced largely by Bitcoin and crypto.
So the material value of things in that scenario end up holding less value than the utilitarian aspects of life.
Exactly, man. They're thinking about how am I going to eat today, right? They're not thinking about I want a whole handful of these silver coins and maybe someone else will accept them. It's just kind of a little bit of a farce. I think food, rounds, training, those are the
I
biggest
do think
currency.
that you're talking about something different than Robert Kiyosaki. You're talking about like we have Armageddon, like essentially Armageddon. Like the world is reset off of a technological basis, right? Robert Kiyosaki, I think, is talking about more like the economies are collapsing and we're in like a new version of the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So we're still trading and doing things, but we're not, trying to find sticks and stones and hunting food.
That's kind of what I was trying to
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Everybody's laughing at the US dollar. Nobody's going to take our paper money. That doesn't mean anything. They're not going to take our digits in our bank account that we can show on our phone. They're going to want something that they can actually like use and see, and that would be gold or silver, right?
Oh, Dirty
like
Dan,
other
though.
countries around the world at this moment in time.
Dirty Dan did say you can kill a werewolf with silver.
And that's true.
Not with gold, though?
No, it's got to be a silver bullet.
Dirty Dan with the alpha. That is true. If I ran into a werewolf, I would need some silver. But other than that, I think just a 9 on your hip, some training, and food and water. I think you'd be good to go. Kiyosaki, he's talking about. There's Hannah. As a reminder, he long expressed his support for DeFi flagship as well as precious metals, silver and gold. and has apparently somewhat moved away from gold in his rhetoric, arguing it could crash possibly below 1,200. Whoa, okay, he's getting a little bit short-term bearish on gold here. On the other hand, unlike gold, he believes that Bitcoin and silver will take off earlier, in particular voicing his expectations for even stronger gains for the former that it recently experienced. So, you know, gold's at this weird moment, hit this double top, really crashed pretty quickly when it did hit that double top. Honestly, I don't hold it. Like last cycle, I held gold. I did sell it at the peak when it hit $2,000 originally. I got it for like $1,100, $1,200. It was very helpful. But at large, I'm not sitting there walking around with gold in my bug out bag or anything like that. Just doesn't seem feasible. It weighs a lot. Weight is death. If you're thinking about a situation where you have to, you know, and my mind goes there often. So the less weight, knowledge weighs nothing, you know, so that's why I like to trim it down, not think I can carry everything.
I think there's a lot of room in terms of like society collapsing between where we are now, where society is relatively like formed and institutions like the Congress and the government are so well regarded, and where Drew's picturing, which is like we're all wandering the wasteland in like fashionable leather.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there's potentials where we don't end up there.
Yeah.
Like, but
It's
we
going to be
still,
somewhere middle of the road there. Yeah.
Right, and I think in those middle of the road scenarios, which is most likely a world where we're basically all like run by the like giant tech corporation, then I think silver starts looking like pretty attractive.
not analogy, but lens on this was about 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, here on Blockchain Basement. There's an episode many moons ago. We were talking about what kind of car we were going to buy in the bull market if we were going to get the car of our dreams. Yeah. And everybody was like, I'm getting this. It was all like some dope shit. And Drew's like, I'll get armor reinforced FJ Cruiser with like,
I'm still the same mindset. You know what I mean? I drive a minivan. I'd probably put some armor on the minivan.
Ooh.
What if an armored minivan? What
about a Tesla truck?
It wouldn't be an armored mini, it'd be an armored maxi.
You don't want a Cybertruck.
Armored maxi. I don't want a Cybertruck. Everyone keeps trying to talk me into it.
I actually didn't see it, but my boyfriend, somebody brought one to my boyfriend's store.
Really?
In Atlanta. They drove a Cybertruck.
Okay.
That's
Did
like
it
the
look
first
cool
one.
in person?
No.
It looks crazy. It's giant.
It's
the
giant?
pictures that they have are crazy. I'm like, I can't believe that's real.
Not
And
much
here.
range.
It's here already.
It doesn't have much range.
They're bad.
300 if you're not towing something.
It's just not much, you know. It's not much.
No.
And you know, there are some nasty times ahead. This next story, there's what this next story doesn't explain is that 189 banks across America are at risk of going insolvent in early March. And here's why. Obviously, we've been very early on this story, which feels damn good, but it's because we're so damn good at our jobs. Why economists are warning of another U.S. banking crisis. This is from The Conversation. There is Jay Powell just getting his cuffs ready to go to war. March 2024 is making investors nervous. A major scheme to prop up the U.S. banking system is ending, while a second may be winding down. Some economic commentators fear another banking crisis, so how worried should we be? The red letter day is March 11th. This is what is being now obviously made obvious to the rest of the world. You had to be paying attention to Federal Reserve governors and their hints about March 11th to know that this is coming, which I'll try to make a whole episode on which of the Federal Reserve governors are really just laying it out how it's going to be. When the U.S. Central Bank and the Federal Reserve will end the bank term funding program a year after it began in response to the failures of these banks' Signature, Silvergate, and Silicon Valley. They were brought down by customers withdrawing. Bullshit. They were brought down by underwater ESG investments. Scam, lie.
And no bank ever should be able, and this is I almost said effed up. This is a messed up fact about the U.S. banking system. If 25% of everybody in the U.S. tried to withdraw like 10% of their money, the entire banking system would collapse. Oof. If the entire populace tried to withdraw just under 2%, the entire banking system would collapse. Why? Yeah. Because they don't have the money that you deposited in the bank. And now we have this coming up again. And now this sucks for people that have not taken the orange pill yet.
Yeah.
But for all of us that are in this, I'm like, it sucks. But anybody that's been trying to be loosely aware or even mildly educated about even potentially getting some exposure in something outside the system like Bitcoin, this is a massive thing for Bitcoin, but it's going to suck for the rest of the world.
Yeah. Well, I think we got to look at the Cody chart. I mean, a lot of people are excited about Cody. I saw a super chat in there it's scrolled beyond, so I don't know who said it.
Yeah, it's up another 25% today.
Yeah, it's well up there. Let's look at this thing just from a chart perspective. Let's see here. God, this is insane. Kelly, look at this. Unbelievable. This is the monthly chart on it. The yearly chart. Holy shit.
Did that? Okay, so I'm a little bit
are you
unaware
joking?
because there's so many damn coins out there.
Why
Was
does
there
that
a
happen?
fundamental change or something?
We covered it. Like DZ has been really big about Cody. I know that DZ's been looking at it for a long time. I literally just know the ticker name and the graph. And one thing I wanted to note, this graph looks like coins like HBAR as well. You know, HBAR, other types of tokens are still locked in this red zone near original release levels.
And look at that. Before that giant pump on the end, you can see that there's a little arc with another little dip, giant cup and handle
Giant
there.
cup. That's exactly what I was seeing too. Absolutely. And this same pattern is playing out on a lot of altcoins. Let's go into their Twitter. Let's see what's going on with this thing. Cody Foundation. May as well give them a follow. Let's see here. I didn't see anything. Let me know in the chat if anything monumental broke about this because, I mean, it looks like they're doing rewards. That's good to see.
I'm so mad. I've literally held this for like a year and a half. I mean,
What?
I don't know how long it's been. I bought $10 worth a long time ago when DZ like told me. He just told me buy $10 so that you'll have it on your watch list.
Yeah.
And you can like look at it. And
So you still have it?
I literally just checked. I have 16 cents. I
16
sold it. I like bought $10.
Oh, wait,
I bought a little more and then I sold it all because it wasn't doing anything.
Oh,
I think I have a bunch of Cody. I'll be honest. I think
Yeah?
I think DZ gave me a bunch.
DZ's
Hell
really liked
yeah.
Cody for a
DZ's
long
up,
time.
probably.
I think he gave me a bunch
Yeah.
in December when I like started coming here,
Yeah.
just as like a watch this.
Well, you might have 5 or 8 X'd it.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was, Ran or someone like that. Some big channel like did a deep dive
that's what
on
some
it.
of your chat was saying.
But
They were like Rand.
Does that one deep dive constitute that gigantic of a surge? I mean, it's
Cody is building a layer 2 on ETH with anonymity and no KYC.
I mean,
that's
I'm bullish on
unverified.
that.
I just see somebody.
That's that'd be bullish if that is the case. Let's see here. It's a market cap. I mean, yeah, it's only a $450 million market cap. That is very movable still. Tokenomics look pretty damn solid on this thing. I'm liking it, and obviously I'm not feeling like getting this.
I'd be waiting on a little bit of a pullback.
Yeah, I'd be looking for it to come back
consolidation.
down to like 20 cents or something like that to feel good about getting in. I never like recommending getting in on these gigantic candles. Definitely alive though. Definitely alive. Let's see what other stories we got. We got a lot of stuff to cover.
Chat says Bitcoin 55.54.5.
Oh my
Holy
God.
nuts. What's happening? Why?
What?
Well, I called this out during the weekend,
Mm.
and I also broke it down on the Discover Crypto and BitLab show today.
Yeah.
If that 53K level was taken with volume, it was probably going to start moving very quickly because this was basically cutting through liquidation areas and flushing out those shorts. The problem with this is you all need to realize that when you have these very quick movements up, it's called an inefficiency on the chart, meaning the price didn't work its way up. If you have forced buying from closing of shorts, then the price at some point will come back down and explore that level to see where the buying pressure comes in to find the support. So let's be happy about this, but let's watch for when there's some weakness and what level when it comes down, where the buyers come back in.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm a bull, baby. I feel so good. The
Look
market
at
is
that.
ripping.
This is a single day candle, though. This is pretty cool to put into context this way. That is a big daily candle, and day's not done yet. So, I mean, it's obvious that we are ripping to where I was originally thinking, but expect some chop.
Hey, the
Expect some
target's
chop.
64,000.
Right.
Steve-O said, am I going to run another parade? No. Hey, we got to be excited.
Yeah.
But by being excited, it doesn't mean we forget what the strategy is. And if there is a pullback, what do? You don't get scared. You say, okay, I get to buy some more.
Exactly. But if you are in a earthquake, there is reason for alarm. I came across this story. I need to cover it. Very odd, just to see. There's quite a few earthquakes over the past weekend. Significant M5 earthquake in western central Idaho above the center of the deepest part of Yellowstone magma chamber. This is something I've been keeping an eye on basically my whole life. I ended up stopping worrying about it because I felt like Yellowstone was breathing enough through the Old Faithful and other geysers.
It is a super volcano.
Man, it is a super volcano.
We've been due for a while for some
yes.
seismic movement.
We've been
right?
due for like 100,000 years or something for that super volcano to explode.
It goes off roughly every like 650,000 years, and we're like, I think 70 or 100,000 years overdue. So
what's
watching that out.
What's your? I'm literally just curious. What's your like call to action? You're pointing out an earthquake. What should I do about an earthquake?
Kiss your ass goodbye.
Okay, well,
you know
whatever.
what I mean? If
Sounds
Yellowstone
fine.
goes off, that's what you got. Here's some good advice from Satoshi Flipper. I liked this a lot. I'll get the box out of the way. Why not? One quick word of advice for traders seeing a lot of success so far this cycle. Never forget how you got to where you got. Don't let your success go to your head. You must always learn to be on alert and always be on your guard when it comes to protecting your profits. Because just as quickly as you gain the success, you can lose it faster.
That's
Bitcoin,
right.
that is right. I love these words. It was exactly to what you were kind of nodding to, Kelly. There's excellent things to keep in mind. Bitcoin can do things out of the blue and you never expect it. So just always be on alert, always be on guard, always stay prepped.
And I don't mean to be a doom and gloomer, but we just saw what happened with, there wasn't even really a lot of movement in the market, but these solar flares and all this kind of stuff. Was that really that? Was it something else? But then also remember that they did identify, 2 or 3 months ago, that Russia has satellites up there.
It was not solar flares that did all
I know,
that.
but they identified that Russia has these satellites up in the sky that has EMPs, and essentially it's a satellite killer. And our entire economy runs also with the underpinnings of mobile networks now.
Yep.
So it's not just you can't call your mom or dad. Transportation stops, and the ability for financial institutions has issues as well. So especially with now what just happened with what was it? Whatever leader in NATO or somewhere over there now says that it's not a matter of if.
Oh, he's
but
guaranteeing
but
World War III.
when,
Yeah.
It's when Ukraine joins NATO. And that might not seem like it matters to you, but that's essentially straight up fighting words with Russia.
Yeah.
Because that's what a big part of this whole battle has been about. So there's a lot of different things at play right now. So as much as the market may look like it's about to go to 100,000, it very well something could happen that this, crashes to 5. And I'm not calling for that. I'm just saying you just need to take profits along the way, or be nimble enough to be able to pivot when you
literally change your life with crypto. You
Yeah.
know?
Speaking of this, so quickly, I was in a space this morning, and they said that some of American prescription services still are not able to process.
They got hit pretty hard. They got
They're
hit.
still not able. They're writing prescriptions down on paper, and the system, the main system that our country uses, is still down. We're still under a cyber attack, but nobody's talking about
But
it.
how weird. So we had a cyber attack on pharmacies and phones, right? Well, I feel like it was a cyber attack.
Right.
We had a Chinese balloon. We had the first landing on the moon in 50 years, all on the same day.
Oh, isn't that strange?
Isn't that kind of weird? That's
Isn't
a lot of stuff to happen within
and
the space
Chinese
realm.
spy balloons. That happened before the last war.
It did happen the time, and the last time I was like, it's China spy balloons, and everyone's like, that's too simple and dumb of a hillbilly answer to be. That's exactly what they were, and they were aggregating data and actually taking signals from Americans on the ground. So
And we paid attention to that for a week, and everybody laughed about it,
And then they're done.
And then, we just never talked about it
yeah,
again.
Witto wed balloons. You know what I mean? Bitcoin still, I don't think it's hit 55 yet, or it
It's
hasn't.
at 54.5.
Yeah, it's at 54.5, but we are getting damn close. I mean, this is playing out pretty quickly here. This is a 7-day. It is just, God, it is ripping out of that shelf. Love to see this. Getting distracted by lovely Bitcoin price action here. Zach XBT posted this. Get this out of the way here. Some suspicious activity with crypto exchange bitforex.com. February 23rd, their hot wallet saw outflows of $56 million. Shortly after this time, withdrawals stopped processing with no official announcement having made sense. Currently, users are asking questions on X, trying to get a response from the team. Interestingly, 1 month ago, their CEO stepped down. Bitforex holds 18% of the TRB supply and 7% of the OMI supply. Absolutely suspect right here. This is why self-sovereignty, holding your own keys, holding your own crypto, This is a large portion of what we try to focus on here in the blockchain basement, as well as being very careful with the interactions that you have with any, test nets, things of that nature that are being put out into the ether on crypto. You got to use degrees of separation from your actual wallets and your cold wallets from those types of exchanges and, different types of DeFi protocols, because one wrong letter on that website can spell disaster. So just be careful out there, you guys. Here's a little bit on the Dencum upgrade. What do we got here? The Duncan upgrade. Dencum. Why did I want to call it Dencum? It sounds like something out of...
I heard something entirely different.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm sure chat's going to let me know. Ethereum Duncan upgrade and Proto Dank sharding. Yeah. That is such a terrible name.
I bet.
Why are we calling it Dank sharding?
On speakerphone? I bet this is the scam...
You got a scammer?
This Coinbase automated fraud prevention team. An email update request on the email kalam@gmail.com has been made from Norway. Do you recognize?
See, everybody, if you get that, I've been getting this all day long for the last 2 or 3 days. That was, if you didn't hear it, it was, hello, Kelly, this is a Coinbase. There's been an That's some fake bullshit.
Oh, they said it was Coinbase just there?
Yeah.
They said they were Coinbase operating team. They just
literally
targeting you.
They lifetime tried. That's how much it happens. You know what I mean? That's how much it happens. You have to stay stubborn, and stay. You keep everything with a degree of suspectness. You know what I mean? Things need to be proven correct or real before you interact with them. Be very careful out there. That was insane that they just tried to infiltrate.
I get like 8 a day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, even if you inquire about new insurance, that's when I'm like looking at new insurance or anything that I'm giving personal information out there, I just get hammered for like months.
So what happens is, I'll tell you right now, if you are concerned and you get a call from any exchange that you're on, and you're like, maybe this is something I'm not sure, hang up. Yes, I said hang up. And if you are concerned, go on to, don't Google it, but go to that direct website. Type in the address bar, coinbase.com, customer service. Call them directly. You call them and say, is there some issue? And they will tell you no. And then you realize you just saved it. Remember, I had $30,000 stolen from my Coinbase account last year. And it was something very different, but very similar to that sort of setup. So do not fall for all these scam tricks out there.
The police cannot accept money from you over the phone.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to make this sound funny or insensitive, but if somebody calls you from the IRS and there's something that and their name is Pradeep, then I'm pretty sure that it's not the IRS calling you. It's somebody trying to take your money.
Yeah.
You don't think the IRS ever outsources?
I think it's very unlikely the IRS is calling you and asking you to pay money to prevent them from charging you or something.
Changing your social security.
Okay. Hold on, you guys. So we're gonna ask the chat a question here. Who is the most badass female character ever? Let me know in the chat. This is a hard call for me. I think Xena Warrior Princess comes to mind.
She was pretty cool.
You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Like, what is the most badass?
Who's the girl on? I have to look it up.
Who? Come on, give me the juice.
How are you measuring it? Are you measuring it by like how empowered you feel like they are? Or are you measuring it on just feats? So if we're just doing feats, like Sailor Moon is like a universal powerful character.
Sailor Moon,
like able to destroy like the solar system type.
I mean, that's a strong power to have.
Right. So, but does that make her badass, or is she like not as badass as like? Because she's not like edgy. You know what I mean? She's not like badass.
Xena Warrior Princess was edgy.
Right. Like X-23 Wolverine's daughter is like badass. Yeah. So no one would say Sailor Moon's badass, but she's way more powerful. So what's your metric?
Yeah, I mean, I think that destructive capability, that's got to play into it. That's got to play into it. Hannah, I want your opinion on this. Who is the most badass female character ever?
I'm so uncultured.
You're so uncultured.
I would say
Buffy.
Y'all would actually hate me. Katniss from the Hunger Games.
Katniss from one? No,
Katniss
that's a
from
good
Hunger
one.
Games is
Cool, yeah.
I
That's
love
a good
her.
one.
She kills people. She's awesome. I love her.
Yeah.
With a bow and arrow.
And she volunteered, man.
Yeah, for
she was
her sister.
hardcore.
Yeah. I love
My
Katniss.
daughter loves Katniss Everdeen, and she's out there with the bow and arrow all the
But
time.
I don't know anything about.
Sailor Moon.
No, that was a good choice.
the
Katniss
other
Everdeen.
Wolverine's daughter.
Kelly, do you have a favorite?
I do. I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
I'm looking
that's
up
what
the
he's
show
saying.
right
She's
now.
not your favorite.
Lara
if you can't
Croft,
remember the
Tomb
name.
Raider, taking
Oh, I
home
love Lara
Lara
Croft.
Croft.
Yeah, Lara
That's-
Croft's getting a lot. My answer is Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny.
She's a
Is-
badass.
Space Jam.
Oh
Her
yeah.
little shots.
Space Jam was lit.
Space Jam.
Her little shots in her ball.
Yeah, shout out to the badass women out there. Now, let's keep on looking here. I got a crypto watch list from DeFi Investor that I love. Let's see, I'm clicking all the things. We got the DeFi Investor bringing out the watch list just for the week ahead. Blur layer 2 launch is expected next week. Stakers of Blur will be getting a big percent of the Blast airdrop. So it looks like that Blast airdrop's going down. Pendle TVL is skyrocketing as Pendle became the go-to place for trading points. This very, very early call for the blockchain basement. Big shout out to Johnny, who demanded I look at this thing like a year and a half ago. Very glad I took it seriously, and it's really taken the show here. So shout out to everyone that was able to catch that early alpha. Now it just looks like it's continuing to take over. Lido, Maker, and Rollbit, if Uniswap's proposal to activate revenue sharing passes, other big projects might activate revenue sharing as well. That is going to be insane if they do indeed do that. But in the short term, the approval could end up being a sell the news event. Frax tweeted about enabling a revenue sharing again with the Frax Layer 2 on chain. Will be open to users soon. XAI staking V1 goes live next week. New Arbitrum Layer 3. See, now we're starting to weed into Layer 3s for gaming.
You think there's going to be a layer 7?
There's going to be a layer 7. Oh yeah, there's going to be a layer 7 for sure.
Layer 8.2.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's going to get weird. Things are going to get weird. So just prepare for it. DYDX, $115 million worth of the tokens, 11% of the circulating supply will be unlocked next week. So those are very, very good. Just kind of pinpointed things to watch out for if you own any of those tokens or if you're looking at them, but also the greater understanding of this narrative. I really thought that Uniswap offering incentives for holding their tokens was a big middle finger to the SEC. I feel like a lot of other, similar types of protocols are going to have to follow suit to stay competitive.
And you know what? I hope the SEC tries to go after them and get slapped down. Because
they're gonna.
There's obviously difference, but it's in line. It's a parallel channel is when you see stocks with dividends.
Yes, 100%. And like now that it's this massive network of all these decentralized applications and centralized moving towards that, it's kind of a big FU come and take it type conversation.
Veteran Crypto says Drew Rand says that why Cody is pumping is revenue share, so similar to Uniswap.
Oh, and the revenue stats that you looked on Chainlink before the big pump too. I mean, that's the type of stuff you can see on chain. We need to be, and that's DeFi Llama, right?
DeFi Llama.
Yep, DeFi Llama for that stuff. So yeah, man, things are moving at you fast. And honestly, I cover so many cryptos, I try to not cover everything, but
can you believe 53 minutes had already passed? I feel like we just started the show.
No, it really did. Oh, we just got started. I'm having fun running the board and here too. For some reason, it feels kind of like
I think we glossed over something though. I think we need to kind of take a step back.
What's that?
We glossed over the importance of what's happening in March with the banking stuff.
We did,
because I have a video that I shared on my wall from Finance a Lot or something like that, talking about the corporate commercial real estate,
yeah.
Because this is all tied in also to what's going on with the banks. Because commercial real estate in the U.S. right now is only recovered to about 50% occupancy, and so they're already having trouble paying the bills that they have right now with the current interest rates that they have had from previous. A lot of those terms are coming due also in March, and they're going to have to refinance at higher rates.
Yep.
And they're not going to be able to afford it. And so there's like $1 trillion in potential commercial real estate loans that could collapse. This is in addition to what's going on with the banks. And this obviously, if they can't pay it, what happens? The banks then
they get absorbed by JP Morgan.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on here. We also glossed over this.
I'm going to stay on this subject. Yeah. There's a lot to it. So you're talking about commercial real estate, basically the holdings being sold for, quarters on the dollar at this point. And something else is going on right now. You have the Federal Reserve trying to act like a hawk. Basically, while they know they can't raise interest rates, or they will basically start a domino effect of 190 at-risk banks going insolvent. That will happen if they raise the interest rates, point blank. Now, they also are in a tight spot because if they continue and reintroduce bank term funding, then hedge fund managers, the largest investors, treasury holders are going to notice, and it's going to be obvious to them the the system is broken, if a system has to operate on emergency lending funds for 2 years in a row, basically they know that the Ponzi's coming to the end. So I think Jerome Powell. I do not envy
and then we
his
see
position.
then we see all these major players in the space, powerhouse, some of the richest people in the world selling major positions.
Yes,
I mean, there's something going on here.
Mm-hmm. And what I think is going to happen is going to be similar to the March crisis. I think that we're going to just experience another leg up because crypto and Bitcoin particularly are not controlled by central authorities. It has shown amazing price action in comparison to other assets across the board. Obviously, NVIDIA is competing with it at this point, but that's just part of the larger technological revolution going on right now. I think these hedge fund managers are going to notice this, and it's a domino effect for them as well. Once a few of them start leaning into it, they all are starting to notice BlackRock, and it's, and MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy hit 190,000 Bitcoin today. 193,000. That's a lot of Bitcoin.
Yeah, they got another 3,000.
And they got hacked at the same time.
Awesome.
DZ was talking about that it was probably, they bought more Bitcoin to get the attention off the hack. I think they were just buying Bitcoin anyways. I just wanted to highlight it. But essentially, what I'm saying here is that the banks, they're in a razor's edge situation. If the feds increase the rates, they're going to gut a large contingent of mid and smaller banks. They cannot do that. They also have to fix the commercial real estate holdings, and the adjustable rates are coming for these banks. So in essence, they're being forced into cutting the rates. And I still am thinking that June, we go to the moon from the feds showing some softness to their belly and acting like little tiny, what do you call them? Doves once again. So I think that's coming,
Do you think they could shock the market and have a cut in March because of all this stuff coming to term in March?
I don't think that in March, I don't think that they're going to cut in March. I think it's going to be either a reintroduction of BTFP or they have three
They
options.
continue the pause, but have much softer language.
Right, absolutely. They have, and they could do that. And then they can also introduce just traditional quantitative easing once again. The Treasury and the Federal Reserve have three mechanisms of printing money now. It's just traditional printing at the Fed, which everyone's pissed at from them overdoing in the last penny, as Jay-Z's talking about the next penny potentially with the Mr. Disease X. But they've got quantitative easing, they've got Treasury repos, and then now they have this third mechanism, which is BTFP, but it's an emergency situation use fund. So, and on top of it, banks got found to be arbitraging it and gaming the system, so they were cut off. Yeah.
Does that mean buy the dip?
No, well, the last one's P. Buy the pump. No, you don't want to say buy the pump. No, I don't think I want to roll with that one.
Oh, it's a BTF.
BTFP, yeah. But yeah, man, this is basically just a sickness and undoable problem that traditional finance has backed itself into, and now the world at large is waking up to, hey, we don't have to get rug pulled by our bank. We can actually hold the keys to our own crypto. We can hold the value to ourselves, be sovereign, and there's a lot of power behind that. Now this is a vegan crypto channel, Bluegrass Man. I think it's Vegan GP. I'll check that out. What do we got here? Kind of interesting. Donald Trump. You're going to love this one, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump earns millions thanks to Trump coin.
Oh,
now,
great.
Let's listen in. Okay, open mind, Jeremy, right?
He's going to need them.
Yeah, he's going to need them. He's going to need them indeed. We have U.S. former President Trump presented with hundreds of millions of dollars in fines last week due to various lawsuits against him, thanks to the profits from Trump meme coin. He received by the developers of the project. He might be able to use the profits to repay a small part of what he owes back in court. I think it's worth, let's keep reading here how much he's got. MAGA has risen spectacularly in recent weeks. The wallet of Trump received the token when it was trading at 20 cents. Ooh, that's a little bit earlier than we called it here in the basement. So very nice. This weekend, it reached $5. Holy God, what happened? Total crypto portfolio is worth almost $5.2 million, according to Arkham Intelligence. Pretty incredible. Earlier this week, Trump was asked by Fox host Laura Ingraham whether his opinion of Bitcoin had become more positive over the years. And this is where Trump basically said, I live with it, but I still want the dollar, the dominating force amongst the world. I'm going to see where MAGA is sitting at right now, though. This is a must know. Hey, ticker Bitcoin Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Inu, Humpin'. Well, shout out to you, bro. Let's see here. What do we got? I was looking at MAGA, Trump, and Jeremy. This is money. I've been looking at this thing for the money aspect of it. I also might vote for Trump. I'm torn between him and this is the wrong token. This isn't even the right token. I'm torn between voting for Donald Trump and RFK Jr. right now. So, it's a thing. It's an internal dialogue I have going on with myself. We're going to see.
Best
here.
of luck with that.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up for me. Let's see here. MAGA
$5
$4.76.
is crazy.
The first meme coin to hit $1 has now hit $5. I wonder who's going to get elected though, Jeremy, right? I mean, it seems like there's a little bit of interest in this name. I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Do you think I'm going to dispute that people are interested in the name Donald Trump? I think
no, it's indisputable.
I think it's indisputable. People are interested in that name. I think wise investment, right? If you bought in at 20 cents, then you're doing great.
Well, it's like the media can't quit him. They can't quit hating him. They can't quit loving him. They just it's where the views come from. You know what I mean? So it's a thing. And like thinking about RFK, I've followed RFK for like 15 years or something like that. I've been on his newsletter. He's just been attacked by the medical industrial complex for his aggression towards what he sees them doing to the population at large. I just feel like they're going to arbitrate him out of it.
My mom thinks he's a wild card, and she wouldn't vote for him because of all the crazy things he said about the vaxes, which is so funny because now all the things that he said about that stuff is coming true. Yeah. So it's like there is obviously a power to the propaganda machine, and there's a slowness to come back to the other side of that when you see the conspiracy turns to fact. You still think this guy's a conspiracy theorist.
We got to check Trump on Solana as well. Trepe. Yeah, BJ having fun with this one. I believe he's still sitting at 208 holders though. So maybe the same holders, just a little bit of intermingling, right at about 82K. This is hyper degen land, extreme risk, extreme reward scenario here. So, just keep that in mind. I think political coins are probably going to run their course right around the election, and then they will dump at large. So, that's just something to keep in mind as we see these parabolic increases. It's already 3:00. My God.
Well, we started 15
Buffalo
minutes after the
Wild
hour, so we
Wings.
still got time.
Yeah. What's that, Hannah?
If you're in the USA, Buffalo Wild Wings is giving away 6 free wings because the Super Bowl went into overtime.
Yes.
So they scheduled it like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl for today, February 26th, from 2 to 5. So go get your wings.
Now I want chicken wings. I had chicken wings last night, though,
I did too.
North
the
But
taco
I'm about
back.
to go get 'em.
Well, it's been a wonderful day in crypto. I think we're still looking really good. I appreciate every single one of you out in the chat. Deadwood, Veteran Crypto, Bob from Accounting, Skid Marks. I know we're live out there on Rumble too. I see you. I love every single one of you. Just treat everyone with respect, dignity. We all deserve that. And if you're in early on crypto, you're in the right place. Spread the word, get the message out, and we will see you on the other side. Good day.